What's up guys, it's Drac and it's finally time to talk about the Conquest Pro. So coming in at 40 bucks, this is the latest collaboration with Walmart. It's of course a Walmart exclusive. It's using the half-length Adventure Force Pro darts and it's using them exclusively, which is the coolest thing about this product to me right off the top is that it's got all the hallmarks of a great blaster. It's gonna be a lot like the Nexus Pro if everything is true to form. It is a half-length blaster that shoots over 125 feet and uses some of the best darts on the shelf right now in the form of the AF Pro darts. It says down here, Conquest Pro followed by Ultimate Dart Blaster, which is, again, a little bombastic, a little on the nose, but hard to argue with, especially in 2021 when nobody else is doing anything remotely as cool as these performance-based blasters coming out of both Walmart, coming out of Target, and then hopefully later on in the year coming out directly. So we've got tactical sights. They appear to be pretty low profile tactical sights. They actually remind me just a little bit of Equinox sights. Then we've got a muzzle brake, which looks a lot like the muzzle brake that comes on the Nexus and the Aeon Pro. That would make a lot of sense. Consistent design language across the entirety of the line. Then what they're calling a tactical grip, which just looks like an angled foregrip, followed by an ammo clip release lock. And I don't know what it's going to take to get these companies to understand that they are magazines. Maybe it's a departure. Maybe it's for like legalese reasons. I don't really understand what the logic there is, but it seems like no company gets it right. Maybe it's just that Hasbro was wrong first and everybody's sort of following their lead. They're advertising the safety and the trigger. The safety is good because it means that it's gonna have some serious potential energy. And then half-length Pro Dart ammo clip. Half-length mag. Down here, it just advertises explicitly that it's working with the half-length magazines and the darts that it comes with, although I imagine that it would run with most other half-length ammo. We will test that for you. I don't know if it's gonna run with Talons or not, but I really hope it does. Then over here, we have distance is 125, and then the magazine holds 15 darts. And when we come over here, we get a much better look at the blaster itself, as well as kind of another explosion of those features. That said, there's no like sneaky peeks, no look at whatever the next AF blaster is going to be. The first thing that jumps out at me, in addition to the accessories, is that while in this picture it looks to be a standard Adventure Force kind of magazine, in the package there's like a little knob in here. I don't know if you guys can see it. We'll point it out when we take it out of the package here in a second. And then the other big thing is that the magazine release, unlike other mag releases, which are pretty, you don't need a lot of force to release a mag detent in most of these cases, this is beefy. In addition to requiring a lot more force than normal, it's got like an actual mechanical kind of engagement. It's doing something, makes me feel like it's gonna release like some sort of compressed spring and actually eject the magazine. But let's not talk about it anymore. Let's go ahead, let's take it out of the package. All right, hands on. So all I can say about this thing is that all of my doubts have been assuaged. Assuaged? Aswiggledigged? I don't know. English is a difficult language, friends, but the overall ergonomics of it feel really good. It feels, I don't know how to, it feels very aggressive. The AFG, you kind of lean into it. It kind of mirrors the way that you sort of grip into the back. Like overall, very nice. The controls here with safety on this side and fire on this side are nice because if you're right-handed, to switch to fire, all you have to do is come up and pop. It's actually one of the more comfortable safeties on a blaster I've handled in the last year. Like that is very mechanical, very comfortable, and it's very close to the trigger, which means even if you have wee fingers, it shouldn't be that much of a reach. Now, the thing that amazed me the most was not only does it chamber the magazine that it comes with and has an incredibly nice flush fit there. I now know what this tab is for, although I believe that it would work with, you know, any of the other magazines. And to prove that, I figure that I'll knock that one out before we even do a firing demo. I'll go ahead and I'll try fitting this 12 rounder in. And while it disappears into the blaster, it is successfully chambered in there to the degree that when I pull this, gravity drops out. But the thing that amazed me more than anything, and there's literally no reason for them to do this other than they're just aware that it is a valuable feature to us, is if I take this Talon magazine and load it in the kind of upward facing orientation, not only does it fit, it fits very smoothly and it's pretty comfortable in there. It's like pretty snug. The flush feature too is equivalent to how this one fits in. I'm not even sure if that's why they did the 15 round for the whole thing is very, very impressive. Now, onto the actual aesthetics of the blaster. It looks like an Adventure Force Pro blaster. You've got the gray with the orange, lots of orange for something that's tactical. Always gonna shout that out. You've got very tactile controls, which feels good, down to the trigger. You've got a pump grip. You've got this kind of venting over here, which is a really interesting sort of design choice. It fits over this very industrial sort of look on here and gives it like just a really cool kind of tactical industrial kind of feel. The gray complements the orange really nicely, and this is a way to work around, like, you don't have to add paint to your blaster if you just have separate pieces and inlays and plastic that overlays on top of it. It's a good look. It kind of adds dimension to the blaster, whereas paint is on the blaster. This kind of pops off of it, which looks really nice in my opinion. The only question that I have, the mystery, is that this says 220 volts on it, and it's not an electronic blaster. So my question is, was this originally supposed to be an electronic blaster? And did they have that kind of designed into it, or did they just think that it would be funny to put, you know, that nomenclature on there and see what happens? On the back, you've got the usual stuff, powered by PTDZ, which is Primetime Dart Zone, I have figured out. And then your usual, like, very quick advertisement and warning label. I like that they split the warning label side to side so that it's symmetrical instead of just taking up an entire panel on one side. I think that that's also a very nice design feature. I need to point out that this muzzle device is in fact different than the one that's on the Nexus and the Aeon Pro. Those two have the same one. This one's a little different. It's got like kind of baffling and porting on it. I'm assuming that they're cross-compatible, but this one I honestly like a little bit more. I think that it's a little cleaner, a little cooler. Now I've got 2 darts in this Talon, which means that when I prime back and forward, and it is not like a heavy prime, but it's definitely stiff, it fires. And it's got a good, I like it. Let's see real quick. It's got slam fire. Of course, it can't have slam fire, because I think that's like a copyrighted thing, but it has slam fire for all intents and purposes. Now, as we plug that in, let's slam fire a couple off. Why not, guys? So, slam fire is tight, and then of course pump action. This thing is cool. And again, at 40 United States dollars to have a unique mag loading system like this, there's no mag sticking out now. Like, it's a truly very compact blaster. I don't know what you would call this sort of style. It's definitely not an SMG. It's definitely like shotgun-esque, but it's firing 1 dart at a time. Like, this is very novel, very innovative. And in addition, it's at a price point where most people in the hobby can afford to pick one up, which is honestly one of the coolest things about the entire Adventure Force Pro line, is that it's widely available, at least in North America and Canada at this point. I know that it's moving to other demographics as we speak, but this is a very available $40 primary class blaster, loads in an innovative and kind of fun way, and delivers serious performance for your super stock kind of war category. I'm assuming that it's highly modifiable as well. I can't wait to take it apart. I'd love it if you left a like on this video telling me that I really need to get this onto the workbench, dissect it, and see what's inside that makes it tick. But overall, a pretty cool blaster. Let's take it downstairs. Let's put it over the chronograph. All right, guys, so I'm pretty stoked to put the Conquest Pro over the chronograph. I'm actually pretty stoked about a lot about this blaster now that we've had a couple of like kind of indoor wars with it and we've played with it a bit. It seems to have some pretty serious power. I can't wait to get actual numbers, but I just want to address some of the things that came up kind of in the speculation when we were kind of speculating on this and what have you. People were like, I don't know, isn't it just a Nexus? And I think that it's pretty clear that this is its own distinct flavor. First off, the profile doesn't change when you have a mag in or out, which I really like. The loading is completely unique, which is, you know, a leap of faith, and I think is kind of cool and deserves to be at least complimented, if not rewarded. And also, it has slam fire and is dedicated half length. I think that makes a huge difference. So we're gonna start by using the included 15-round magazine and the included AF Pro darts, and that'll give us a really good baseline for what we're up against here. So 145. I knew it was hitting hard. 135. 131. I actually kind of want to know how the slam fire. So the slam fire appears to be a little bit, well, I don't know. So my consistency is about 130 to 150 with this guy. Jinx is very animated about it as well. Let's put a couple more over. 132. All right, and 129, so a little bit under. All right, so let's switch to a Talon Magazine, and then let's grab this for later. This has the new target darts in it, the max darts. So the Talon here has the AF Pros in it. I just want to put a few of those downrange. I just want to point out that the Conquest Pro, despite the fact that it definitely has a funky loading mechanism, and you can kind of see how it works through this window here, where it comes in, grabs it like that, and then pulls it up to chamber it. It hasn't had a single mischambering in the entire time I've been using it, which means that it might be just as reliable as the Nexus Pro, which is one of my favorite things about the Nexus Pro. Is this some sort of jam door? Okay, wait. Nice. Look at that, it's got a secret jam door. That's kind of cool. So you can actually see there how it just flipped the dart up, grabbed it, leveled it like that, and chambered it. And that is pretty neat. So you're getting very similar to Nexus Pro performance out of this for $10 less without the prime kind of slop that comes with having the full length and half length magazine compatibility and the sort of telescoping pusher system. I mean, this is straight 1-to-1 prime fire. And I like that it's an exclusive half length primary. I think that it's actually quite potent. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off. Not that it's affecting anything given kind of its design nature, and let's fire. All right, so dry firing definitely doesn't seem to adversely affect this in a negative way. I'm sure that it's padded, similar to its predecessors, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take this. This is our Striker magazine, which is of course shorter, and then chambering that, it fits in there as well. Well, that's interesting. Huh. We're gonna go back to the chronograph. That was an incredible shot with the Dartzone Max darts. And like that would be so ironic, so funny if it performs better with the Target ammo than the Walmart ammo. But, well, 144, 141, 136, 140. It definitely feels like it's a little more consistent. And part of that could just be that the ammo specifically is newer. My AF Pros have been to a couple of SC&C wars, but pretty good stuff. All right, let's, do I have any more? I think so. Let's fire one more. I mean, that's a 100-foot straight shot dead on. How do you beat that? Back. Oh, nope. You can actually see in there that we are completely out of ammo. So then you just pull that switch, that guy drops out. Again, dry fire safe, which is good because you can't really deprime a slam fire blaster. But overall, I think the Conquest Pro is a home run. I think that it's tough to beat at its $40 price point. It is a serious half-length dedicated performance class blaster. Unique shell, incredibly unique mechanism. I gotta think about it in terms of what it is outside of the Nexus Pro. Like, is the Nexus Pro amazing? Yes, I love the Nexus Pro, but we cannot judge every single blaster release based on, is it a completely game-changing $50 primary? This costs less money, does more stuff. I think, I don't know where they go from here. Just really, really cool. So I am a huge believer in the Conquest Pro. I can't wait to do a mod guide for it. I can't wait to see if there's anything that we can develop that makes it a little more interesting, even if it's just some quality of life stuff, like a slightly different grip and perhaps a safety delete and new sights. I think that that is all well worth doing. But overall, I mean, it's got the full metal barrel inside, so it's doing a full chambering sealed breech system. Even if it's not a perfect sealed breech system, I think that it deserves the benefit of the doubt. Leave me a like and a comment down below. Let me know where we should start with the mod guide. Let me know what kind of parts you'd be looking for something like this. Overall, I am just very, very impressed by this blaster that nobody saw coming. Thanks so much for watching. As always, much love. Blast on. Drac out.